What's your main insecurity when you speak English? Is it your pronunciation, your grammar, using the wrong words, your accent, or the fear of not being understood? I asked this exact question in my community on Facebook, the English Level Up community. The most voted answers were grammar mistakes, not being understood, and then wrong pronunciation. The $1 million question then is, how do you get rid of these insecurities? How do you gain confidence? The answer is pretty simple. So listen up, if you want to be more confident in English, you have to do a series of things. First, begin by looking yourself in the mirror and repeat to yourself, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident. Do this for no less than 30 minutes every day. That's number one. Then I want you to watch motivational speeches, a ton of them. TED Talks, Tony Robbins, hell of a guy, I recommend you watch him. Next, I want you to write down all your insecurities on a piece of paper. Make that piece of paper into a ball, throw it away. That's an excellent way to leave your insecurities behind. So you're literally throwing them behind and away from you. It works. And then when you're speaking with somebody, it's very important that you kind of like fix your body language, like chest out, wide shoulders, even look a bit menacing like this. Point being, that will hide the fact that you have some insecurities. Do some power poses. Pretend that you are the champion of the world at everything. So that will definitely make you a confident English speaker. Well, of course not. Forget everything I just told you because it doesn't work. But surprisingly, there are a lot of people out there who do give this wishy-washy advice. My advice is, don't listen to them. And here are two truths. Here are two truths. Truth number one, your confidence does not come from mental work, it comes from physical work. Truth number two, your confidence in English comes from the validation of your skills. When you know you have the skills to perform an action in English well, you will not feel insecure or fearful of doing that action. Speaking English, writing English, listening to English, you don't need to overcomplicate it. And here's an example. Think about when you were a kid who just learned how to ride a bike. What gave you the confidence that you could ride a bike and not fall and get hurt? It's simple. The fact that you could ride the bike and not fall. That was the validation of your skill of riding a bike. Think of it as a numbers game. When you get on a bike for the first time, your chances of falling and getting hurt is, 80% chance, or I would say 90% chance that at first try you're gonna get on that bike and you're gonna fall and you're gonna get hurt. So your insecurities are justified, and in fact, they're there for a reason. They're a defense mechanism, a survival mechanism. If you know that you're gonna get hurt, then you're gonna be fearful and you're gonna be careful. That's why helping wheels exist for riding a bike. But then as you start to learn how to ride the bike, the chances of you falling go down, and it gets to a point when it's 99.9% that you are going to be okay, and it's only 0.01% that you are going to have an accident and you're going to get hurt. Of course, speaking English is a more complex task than riding a bike, but there's no need to overcomplicate it. So again, your confidence in English comes from the validation of your skills. That is, you proving to yourself that you have the competencies to perform a variety of activities in English and do it well. Now I'm going to take that statement, your confidence in English comes from the validation of your skills, and I'll talk about 3 liberating and empowering realities that come from keeping this truth in mind. Now, quick vocabulary word definition here. Liberating comes from the verb to liberate, which means to free someone from feelings or conditions that make their life unhappy or difficult. And of course, insecurities make our lives difficult. But knowing this truth that your confidence in English comes from the validation of your skills is going to liberate you from that, and is going to empower you to shift your mindset and unlock your full potential in English. So number one, it helps you focus. When you realize that your confidence in English comes from you knowing that you can actually speak it, your focus instantly shifts to what matters, which is improving that skill. You shift your mindset to the things that matter and the things that you can actually control. And I love this because one of the core values that I try to instill in the students that I coach at the English Level Up Academy is that we don't make excuses. We have a 0 excuses allowed policy. A lot of times we tell ourselves these lies that I don't speak English because no one in my town speaks it, or because I've never been to the United States or England. Well, guess what? I've never been there either. And then there's the best one of them all. I'm just not good at languages. So please focus on the things that you can control, like managing your free time, however little free time you may have, so that you can engage with the language in some way, like expanding your vocabulary, improving your pronunciation through repetition, figuring out a grammar structure that you don't understand, and figuring out the way that you can implement that into your everyday speaking. Speaking English in an online conversation meetup. Second liberating and empowering reality that this statement unlocks is it overrides your traumas. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. We all have experienced some kind of trauma in our past, whether that's severe trauma or mild trauma. More severe trauma needs to be treated by a professional. But then we have mild trauma, which is, for example, it comes from experiences like you were a kid and then you said something and then people laughed at you, and you felt embarrassed or humiliated. And it's not as much about the experience itself, but what we think those experiences mean. And then your brain forms certain beliefs on its own without your permission. Now, because of that time that you said something and then people laughed at you, your brain went, okay, what you just said was so ridiculous that everybody laughed. From now on, why don't you just shut up? Because what you say has no value at all. And this in turn turns into an unconscious, or even worse, subconscious limiting belief that holds you back forever. What you can do is you can build some skill on top of this self-limiting belief and crush it. And I'll tell you a story from the beginning of my English learning journey. One area I used to feel particularly insecure about was pronunciation. And this, I think, stems from one time someone laughed at me because of the way that I pronounced the word love. I think I was talking about the song This Love by Maroon 5, and then someone laughed at me. So my brain interpreted that as, Max, you suck at pronunciation. So that was a belief that I had, but I didn't let it hold me back. And I've proven those self-limiting beliefs wrong. So these beliefs that hold you back, you can change them by focusing on the skill that is directly tied to it. You increase the skill by engaging with it. Is it speaking? Speak more. Is it writing? Write more. And the third thing is pretty simple. This creates a positive feedback loop. When you shift your mindset from I can't do this because I'm not good enough to I'm going to do it anyway because what really matters is that I can actually increase my skills on it. So when you do that, you actually start to increase those skills in a very real way. And as you do that, your insecurity levels start to go down and your confidence levels start to go up. So you start to develop this bias towards action. And in fact, this ties in perfectly with the first rule of confidence, which is the actions of confidence come first, the feelings of confidence come later. And this is a perfect opportunity to ask you to watch my other video on confidence. Well, this is a little bit more focused on insecurities, but I filmed this video on confidence. And if you watch that video, you're going to take your confidence to the next level. So it's about the 5 confidence rules that you can apply for speaking English fluently and confidently, of course. So this positive feedback loop brings everything together and you start to focus on what really matters, right? That was the first liberating and empowering reality, that the statement, your confidence in English come from the validation of your skills. So this statement unlocks these 3 realities. It helps you focus, it overrides your traumas, and then this positive feedback loop is what brings everything together. And once you start to gain some momentum with increasing your confidence and decreasing your insecurities, my friend, you are off to the races. And that means your chances of becoming even more confident and more fluent in English are a lot higher than your chances of not becoming that and not fulfilling what you're actually called to do, which is to become a fluent and confident English speaker. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed that, and I've also created a guide on confidence, specifically for English learners like yourself, that you can read or listen to, as it comes with an MP3 file. It will also teach you some vocabulary because it has some definitions and examples. If you download the guide now, your chance of becoming a more confident English speaker are gonna be, 5 times higher. I'm just sure your chances are exponentially higher. And also, when you download this guide, I will personally send you a message when myself and the members of the English Level Up community get together in a meeting to talk about the topic of confidence. So if you want to practice your English with me, take action now and download this guide. The other day, in fact, I met with the members of the English Level Up community and we talked about confidence, and it was a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to actually discussing that with you. So that is it, my friends. So I'll see you in this video up here, or if not, I will say go out there, take an action of confidence, continue crushing it with your English, continue experiencing the world fully through English, and leave your mark in it. I'll see you in the next video.